listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's WWE NXT After Show.
New song. Honestly, he lives over in Sun Valley.
Hello, we're starting.
Whatever, I was talking about Rikishi because the Usos were on tonight.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another after show for NXT, the week of April 24th, 2014. I'm your host, Kathy Kelly, and sitting across from me, the guy that was talking when he wasn't supposed to be talking, True Hobo.
I didn't know I had to get a ticket and wait in line to, get a word in edgewise, Miss Kathy Kelly. Reigns over all. Call me a diva today. Lord.
You're a diva. Holding us up.
Whatever.
Taking time in the bathroom since that's a luxury.
I look beautiful today.
You do look beautiful.
Don't you start.
Sitting next to True Homo, Mark Donica, also looking beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Soapbox Mark, they call me the Smark for short. And I've just got beauty written all over my face. Ever since I started following Tyler Breeze, I've just been
absorbing his gorgeousness.
That's good. It's good. It's rubbing off on you.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes he needs a little more selfie control, though.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
I clicked on an Instagram link and it was a selfie. I don't know what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Well, that or a puppy.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting a puppy, but
yeah.
it was just like, no, that's him.
Why didn't we start with the selfie song? This was like a really missed opportunity.
Well, I mean, there was a lot.
He wasn't in the main event. If he was in the main event, we did.
We'll save it.
We're an attraction.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So.
Overall, what'd you guys think of tonight's episode?
Good. Yeah.
Good. That kind, not good,
yeah.
but good.
I mean, you started it off on such a low note.
Yeah,
I know. Okay, so let's talk about this.
Yeah.
They stripped Paige of her NXT Women's title. JBL comes out and he says that Paige can't keep the NXT Women's title and go off on tour with the WWE. So they are going to have a
tournament
for the women at NXT to see who can get the title.
Right now, we have 3 main talent, essentially, that shows up on NXT, if they're to be considered NXT talent. Now that Emma is also on the main roster, she's kind of excluded as well. So I think we're going to start seeing a lot of the talent step up.
What do you mean step up? I mean, right now we have Charlotte, Sasha, and Bayley are the top 3 girls, I would say, excluding Paige and excluding Emma, excluding Summer Rae as well.
Because she's absent.
Yeah.
So who do we think is going to get it out of them? I kind of have my prediction, but
probably going to be Charlotte.
I believe that
I would love for it to be an upset. It's the BFFs in the last 2. Sasha Banks turns face and ends up beating Charlotte.
Ooh.
That's
the
what
BFFs are then dissolved or something like that, or somehow Bayley manages to pull it out. I think everybody would like to see Bayley do it.
Yeah.
But like they did with the NXT Championship, they had it. It was Biggie before Bo won, right? So they've had a heel on top of the food chain for a while, and then they had a face do it. Now we have the Ascension, who up until last week didn't have anybody to go against them. Mm-hmm. So now we're at a point where we should have. And I think we should have a change
lot
up
of the titles, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it will be nice. It seems like we're going to get some new women talent on TV very soon. It sounds like Lexi Bliss might be joining the BFFs, as well as some of the other girls that have been down there for a little bit.
I just consider this whole thing to be a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
They could have done something really phenomenal with the women's division as a whole and have Paige be at the center of it and bring in women's talent from the main roster, bring up women's talent from NXT, have them all work together and it build everybody up. But it sounds like they just got lazy with the writing or something.
I just wanted to see once on Raw Paige out there with both belts.
Yeah.
And
because
that
you're
would have been
going to
such
bring
a
more eyes to
cross-promotion.
NXT that way. Exactly. I don't know why they're being so short-sighted.
Even if they had stripped her of the title a week or two later, that's fine. I mean, I wouldn't have been happy with it, but I think that would be better. And then you have that instant cross-promotion on your biggest show.
Mm-hmm. And especially now, they just announced today that there is going to be another network special. I forgot what it was going to be called.
Takeover.
The Takeover,
That's what
yeah.
it's going to be called.
May 29th.
May 29th. And you have in your hands already, this will be a way to get more people who, not one of the 600, 700,000 people that have the network, a way to get eyes on the network right in front of you. You take it away.
I mean, yeah, you could have had Paige versus anybody, any female from the main roster. You could have had it a three-way. You have somebody from the main roster, somebody from the NXT roster, have a good three-way dance. That would bring a whole lot of eyes. That'd be the semi-main event, just overall. But
yeah, because Emma and Paige stole the show last time.
They did.
They
but
did.
now I think they might be setting the stage to have two different NXT talent steal the show as well, which is what I think. And it's weird how that right now seems like the most important title storyline that we have right now, because right now we kind of have Brodus and Adrian Neville, but this one is like, we had Paige as the champion, and who's going to follow
yeah.
Because
in
it got so high because she had both belts.
Yeah.
How can you follow that? And there should have been a way to just take it down, give it to somebody else. She had to lose. Now she's, I don't know, man.
Do you think that discredits the NXT Women's Championship at all? Going like, instead of having her
I don't think it
lose
does.
Yeah.
I think that it makes it more valuable because she was the last one to hold it, and technically she didn't lose the belt.
Yeah,
it
she
was
didn't
taken
lose it.
away from her. So she can come back if, 6 months down the line she doesn't have the Divas title anymore. She can come back and say, "Hey, that's actually mine because I didn't lose it to anyone. They just took it away."
They just have to be.
I would like to see that too. But you could have also done that with a three-way dance, and she doesn't get pinned. She gets knocked out of the running, and whoever gets pinned ends up with the women's belt, the NXT women's belt, and then she could come back and say the exact same thing, and then you have another match built in.
But you also, if she does come back down for occasional appearances, you have an instant feud between her and whoever her successor is.
I'll agree with
that.
There's that. Just with the wording of, you're the champion and you're going to be traveling with the championship. Specifically, you're going to be on Raw and SmackDown every week. There are a lot of divas that are on Raw and SmackDown every week. Does that mean we're not going to see Natalia or Oksana or
Let's
Alicia
talk about
Fox?
Renee Young, who is on Raw and SmackDown every
And
single week,
NXT.
and NXT every single
Commentary,
week.
interviews.
Yeah. So it is possible with their travel schedule.
And Summer, who was literally going back and forth.
But we haven't seen much of Summer lately.
But still,
Emma
before
more so.
this,
Yes.
I would say Emma
and
more
Emma,
so.
and Emma.
But yeah, the very unfortunate situation.
Yes.
The wording was really weird. It came out of nowhere. And
I think it was just thrown together very fast because, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
We can't change it. We just have to live with it. We don't have to be happy about it, but
My
we have to live with
client, Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Okay, so
this is a Heyman-free zone.
We've discussed this for way too long. We're already 8 minutes in. We do need to talk about the matches tonight. The first match, Rusev versus Travis Tyler. Rusev, of course, ends up winning with the accolade. No one really thought differently. But what do you guys think of this match?
The kid Tyler got a good drop kick off.
Yeah.
At least to start it, and Rusev looked rattled, so there was that.
Yeah.
You pissed him off.
Yeah, really.
But for the most part,
If the first shot doesn't kill him, you just make him angry.
he crush.
You crush.
He crushed.
You crush.
He had a pretty Samoan in there, a lot of just huge, loud, just pure, the clubs that he was doing
Meat.
against his,
Just meat.
Meat on the table. It was Ryback-ish, but it was a squash. I wish we could see more matches. Hopefully the Extreme Rules match will
his
be
coming
meaty.
out.
I would like to see Brodus and Rusev. That's who I'd like to see.
No,
Why not?
because it's similar-ish styles.
Exactly, but we've literally only seen Rusev versus smaller guys. We've not seen him versus anybody close to his size. That would be different.
Yeah, that's fair. But I mean, Brodus, another big guy maybe, but Brodus right now.
Maybe, Mason Ryan, no.
We'll get to him.
Yep, we'll get there.
Accolade. That was quick.
Accolade?
They're just still building him up to be this
Building.
Bulgarian brute that he is.
He's built. Literally,
No, I know.
literally and
I
figuratively,
have
he's
eyes.
built.
I have eyeballs. I can see.
It's just in Catherine Kelly has eyeballs.
We'll break all of the dirt sheets.
My eyeballs also saw Lana, who was looking gorgeous.
She looks
I
great.
mean,
Hey, man. Tip top.
Raw, she was on point. That absolutely
Half
was
a
on
power
point.
suit.
Yeah, right.
Hey,
She left the other half at home, but nobody was complaining
a woman uses her wiles as well as her wiles. You know what I mean?
all the while.
If you got it, flaunt it.
I just wish they would have put Rusev in the Intercontinental Championship tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to do that to build something else, but he could,
He could have been in it.
he has a
That
lot
could
of-
have built him.
he has a lot of avenues available to him where he could be against quote unquote formidable talent.
I just think that the reason why they didn't do that is because Cesaro is going to win it,
Yeah.
and they don't want
Rusev
versus Big E would be interesting.
Yeah.
If
Oh,
there's
yeah,
two
similar
big guys
size
against each
again,
other.
yeah.
But
Yeah, just
I
on
feel
purpose.
like they're similar wrestling styles, but it's still very different.
Right.
So,
But
yeah.
I think one of Rusev's problems is he has too many avenues. They don't know which way to go because they have anywhere they could possibly go, and it's hard to start in the right place. It's hard.
Yeah. So let's talk about backstage. Devin Taylor interviews Adam Rose, and he is there with all the party people from the Exotic Express, cheering him on and singing his song.
And with a woo, not with a hey. But that's
Yes.
all we're gonna say.
It was a half and half. It was a woo hey.
Everybody's still confused.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
nobody
sure.
knows what's going on.
I'm pretty sure that Ryan Katz is one of the
Right, he was
No, he
right
was
in
the
middle.
center.
faceless guys.
The
But you couldn't
green.
even tell because it was like a
Yes, you
different.
could.
You could.
could-
If you
could
know
tell if
him, you know the
him.
way he moves.
I know, and you could tell, like, you could see the outline of his face just through that mask.
It was the smile, and he also
Yes.
he led the "Be a Rosebud" chant. Like he
Yeah.
started
Yeah.
everybody up on that. So he was the
When
producer
he was
on the scene.
the Raw segment of the Exotic Express this last Monday, he was
Yeah.
the loudest one chanting. Oh
and
my
he
gosh.
didn't have a mask on or anything.
Right there.
Safe to say he's a Rosebud.
A little bit.
Yeah, so Adam Rose still trying to convert everyone. He says, don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Especially to Camacho. We're probably going to see that match soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe at the next live event.
No, maybe.
Maybe.
Oh, that
'Cause
could be what it's gearing up for.
They didn't really bill it for next week, did they?
No.
No.
Well, maybe at the live event. We'll see.
So that's about a month away, a little
Yeah.
bit more than a month away. So, yeah.
Maybe.
Give enough
I mean,
time to
we'll
build.
see what happens.
Next up, we have the women's tag match, Charlotte and Sasha versus Emma and Paige. Did you think that Paige would be Emma's choice of an opponent?
Well, before it was spoiled for us last week on Twitter, I'd hoped.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, but at the same time, it would seem like a great way. You have Emma coming in from Raw and SmackDown to push Bayley, because
Yeah.
Bayley kind of only has Natalya and I guess the Great Khali now.
We haven't really seen much of Bayley other than that Kali segment. And maybe,
I think 2 weeks ago. she had a
yeah,
match.
but it wasn't that long. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean,
She isn't getting the push that she was, or as much airtime as she was
Right.
3 months
it
ago.
seemed like this match was setting up for a Charlotte Page match, but then they cut the thing with the championship, and especially at the end of the match, Charlotte did the belt
It
indication.
still
fit.
makes some sense because the belt is on the line. She essentially showed that she was better than Paige, which means that she could pick up the same belt, but not
Yeah.
from Paige. It's
So-
it translates, but it's
Yeah,
still
yeah.
Charlotte was looking very athletic during this match,
Mm-hmm.
but she also pinned Paige, the former NXT Women's Champion and the current Divas Champion.
Actually, doesn't that make her the number one contendership for the,
Technically,
Yes.
for
Yeah,
the
for the
Divas?
Divas
doesn't it?
I did not expect her to pin Paige. I thought that if anything, Paige was gonna win, or
They were,
Emma was
they were
gonna be the
trying
one
to
who
make a
was pinned. I
statement.
know,
and
but I don't
unfortunately,
know.
the statement is lost because they changed gears.
Yeah.
You
If
can't.
anything,
You can't have Paige win over every single diva on the main roster,
But
and
lose to
then
Charlotte.
Yeah.
That's where I think they've devalued the Divas Championship a little bit. Well, it's weird. It's just really weird because they messed up mid-sentence,
Mm-hmm.
and they tried to make a completely different statement and
Yeah.
because
Right.
I still think they were all looking amazing during this match.
Oh,
They
no,
put on
everybody
a
looked
really
great.
good
Yeah.
tag match. Yeah.
There was a tease. It's seemingly a tease of the breakup of the BFFs that I noticed when in the beginning Emma put both of the BFFs in the corner and Sasha dodged out of the way. Like that could easily be a point of contention in the future. Just like why didn't you take the hit for me?
Yeah.
I'm the important one. But new chant tonight. Emma, oi, oi, oi.
Yeah, there had to be an Aussie in the audience for that one to get over.
Oh, and
or
they
just
also-
a footy fan.
Maybe.
Did you not see the huge Australian flag in the front row? Of
No.
course there was an Australian in the
Apparently,
audience.
they had gone blind for a moment.
You don't have eyeballs?
I do not have eyeballs. This
I
just
have
in.
eyeballs.
Kathy Kelly has eyeballs, and I don't.
I have enough for the both of us. So.
Oh, good.
The story continues. Jeez, it just the plot thickens.
Yeah. Next match, we have Tyson Kidd versus Mason Ryan. Good to see Tyson Kidd back in matches, and likewise to see Mason Ryan back.
Well, I mean, we saw
We saw him a couple weeks ago,
We
but-
saw Kid like a couple of months ago.
back
Well-
in season one, while season
Season
one
one.
of Total Divas was airing because he was getting his
Okay.
time then.
All right.
But then he came back, though, not that long
With
ago.
Natty.
Yeah.
That was back in December, I want to say.
Was it? Was it that long ago?
No. could've
Was
been
he
that
on more
long
recently
ago.
than that?
Yeah,
It was like
yeah.
February or something.
The
It was
same
like
thing.
2-3 recordings ago. It was build
More
up
than 2
for-
months ago. Can we agree on that?
Sure, let's
I
go.
Okay.
have no idea how time is moving.
Agree to
so-
disagree so that we can move forward.
Okay.
Yes. There was a Push Tyson Kid sign in the audience.
A very small one. A
Yes.
very, very modest Canadian sign of Push Tyson Kid. Could have
Please.
sworn there would have been
Please push Tyson
please
Kid.
push Tyson Kid. That'd be nice.
And then Tyson ends up winning over Mason Ryan. Afterwards, Renee welcomes him back, and Tyson Kidd cuts a promo saying NXT is the place to be, and he's going to bring his best.
And it's interesting. He said he's gonna like break out. That's basically his own words. He's gonna break out and surprise everybody. I'm a little wary because if he'd have surprised anybody, wouldn't we be surprised by now?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Tyson Kidd has always been a super solid performer.
Yeah.
And choice of words, it's kind of that seemed like a very fan-friendly statement to be like, all of you people who know that I do good work, I'm going to be here doing it. And everybody who has the network, you don't have to wait and see me on TV. You can see me anytime you want, right here.
Maybe
on the
that's
WWE
what he
network.
should have said, but he didn't say that.
Well,
so it
he
didn't sound-
kind of implied it. He said,
Listen, this is wrestling. There is
No, I know.
basically no implied anything.
He said it in a very MTV, like TRL, woo kind of way. Dude, that I can't believe that's a dated reference now. Anyway, he.
Paige probably doesn't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
my
God.
I mean, well, one, because she's from the UK, but then two,
top of
because...
the pops. It was a very
too
top of
young.
the pops thing to do. But it was he had there was a lot of really stellar spots in this match. They worked it kind of face and face.
They did. Mason Ryan didn't show really any aggression. He showed like strength, very powerful all the way around. Tyson Kidd looked very fast and very smart, moving around Ryan where he could. Of course, Ryan grabbed him a couple of times. There's
Right off
not
the
a whole lot you
springboard.
can do about that. Oh yeah,
That was an impressive press slam.
I mean, he's an impressive specimen, but.
Yeah.
There's something missing from him.
He's
You
just
think?
a smiling Welshman. He doesn't necessarily have a character. Even his character when he was in the new Nexus wasn't that. He was just that strong guy, and he's still that strong guy. He just smiles now, and he has a ponytail.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Where do you think the right place for him would be?
As a heel with Sylvester Lafore as his manager.
Okay.
Or if you move him up to the main roster as a heel, shave his head, put him with Ryback.
Ryback has Curtis Axel. What about
Let's
Ryback
drop
Axel?
Curtis Axel.
Ryback-
All right,
Ryback.
they are not. They don't belong together.
Ryback Sason.
Ryback Saston.
It's a 3-man stable.
That's a mouthful.
I know it's horrible, but
Ryback
so
Sason.
is Ryback Axel.
I think I saw a commercial for that. It's a pill for what? Depression or something? Maybe men's health or
May
I don't
cause
know.
diarrhea.
Yes,
Yeah,
anal leakage. Ryback Sasson causes anal leakage.
the meat's been on the table a little too long.
Ooh.
Whoa. I really got him with that one.
Yeah, you did.
I really like Tyson Kidd. He jumped over the top rope and hit a leg drop on Ryan, who was hanging over the apron, and that's one of those.
That was kind of cool.
That's Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
And
It was impressive.
And he,
I may do that. I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about it going, I could do that.
yeah, there's a couple of things in here. You're like,
Ah.
it was solid. Another quick match. That was the thing about a lot of the matches tonight is they were quick. Last week's we got a little bit more of a back and forth. This week, and this Kid and Ryan one was one of the only ones that really had back and forth. It was like
the final tag team.
It
Yeah.
was like half squash, half back and forth because the women's tag match had a lot of good back and forth. This had a lot of good back and forth, and
Okay.
the 6-man tag had a lot of back and
Okay,
forth.
yeah.
But everything in between was just like, we had a match just now?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Match and then done.
I mean, I'm thrilled anytime to see Tyler Breeze in the building, especially with the dark blue that he was sporting this night.
Very dark, like a midnight
Very
blue.
good.
I liked it.
So let's talk about the Tyler Breeze versus Angelo Dawkins match. Tyler, we were saying when he was doing his entrance, he just has to hit those marks every single time he's down, and he does it so perfectly every single time.
He's run the runway for years. He's got to know where to turn, where to
Yeah.
pivot, what the cues are. He's got to know.
But someone who's so invested in their character and just seems like they live and breathe it.
Also, when you have a good tech team behind you, a good camera team behind you, because
Yeah.
whoever lines up that shot of him in the corner with the selfie of him on the Tron,
Perfect.
perfect.
Yeah.
No.
Also, when he at the end of the match, when he does the selfie and he has the guy with the ref checking on him at the end, perfect.
It clearly takes a little bit extra time to produce, but it comes
It
off,
pays
so much. Yeah.
and especially just the close-ups right at the like that.
Knowing your camera angles though and
Perfect,
looking right into the camera
Exactly.
right at the right time, just
People want to see the marriage of multimedia and wrestling. There's so much theatrical elements you could add to a wrestling show that's more than just the wrestling, and it makes it so much better. And this is a perfect example of that.
And he doesn't need pyro or anything.
No.
Like, it would just get in his way, and it might mess up his hair, you know. So, and speaking of him being in with the character, in this match, he was against Angelo Dawkins, who have we seen on TV yet?
no, but I've heard his name before.
Yeah.
I think maybe he's been on a couple months back in another squash
Maybe he
match.
was on the Lumberjack
but-
match.
Yeah, maybe
That's
something like that. But
possible.
I've heard his name before. I know that he's down at NXT.
Well, he
So.
got a snapmare, and usually you see somebody bounce out, run off the ropes, and then give him a drop kick. Not Tyler Breeze. He strutted to the ropes, just worked it, did the right side turn, and then came back and gave him a kick.
Yeah.
It worked because it was Tyler Breeze. It's like what's he do?
Yeah, if it was anybody else, it just wouldn't work at all. Why would they do that?
A man crush going on.
Of course I do. When somebody is so dedicated to their craft and their character, that is a character that anybody can watch and go, that's entertaining. I'm entertained. That's
I could easily
wonderful."
see him on the main roster tomorrow.
Easily. And how many screens are on that Titantron? He'd be all over the bloody place. Like everybody loved when Cody Rhodes a couple years ago, when he came out and looked at himself in the mirror on
Oh,
the
yeah.
Minitron.
Oh, yeah.
Just imagine that, but
pretty
the
boy.
big screen, it's gonna be great.
I think
when he goes
Breeze
up.
and Fandango could make a good tag team.
Or they would hate each other
thinking
because they're
about
so
that.
similar.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It'll be one of those hated tag
Feuds,
teams,
like-
and then they just feud.
Everyone thinks you're pretty. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah.
Fandango.
I still, like last week, I want to see Tyler Breeze give a makeover to an Uggo.
That would be great. Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Tyler Breeze ends up winning with the beauty shot,
One of those squashes.
and good match overall.
Yeah,
though.
Dawkins thought he was coming to a wrestling match, but Breeze knew he was coming to a fight. 'Cause as soon as there was any space, man, Breeze just nailed him.
Yeah, it's that
Yeah.
darker side
cock
that
him.
we've been seeing. A lot more aggressive Tyler
He
Breeze.
does not mess around, man. He does not like to be made to look bad.
No.
He's got to look good all the time.
Instead of waiting to not be hit in the face, he hits them in the face first. I keep interrupting you, and I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was gonna move on. So
Well, speaking of aggression,
speaking of aggression, thank you for that transition.
He's got him tonight. I don't know what that is.
We learned some new stuff that happened last week after Brodus Clay and Neville's match. What the what?
I think they would have featured that in a more
Yeah.
prominent place than like, oh yeah, the last week,
Neville's toothless,
like
like
40
you.
minutes.
kind of like me. No, I
Yeah.
should have got them. They're just covered in black
Yeah.
crud.
smell.
So
Yeah, thank you.
Clay got very aggressive and attacked Neville. Neville ends up losing his front teeth.
Well, I mean, they got forcibly removed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So there's that.
So they just kind of breezed over that, but it happened.
Yeah, they kind of buried the lead. By the way, your champion has no teeth now, thanks to Brodus Clay.
I want to know, is that real life or is that? I mean, obviously,
Like he could have.
does he actually have those teeth missing in real life, or
The
What
possibility is high, or there was a terrible accident that they decided to take advantage of while they still could.
yeah?
Well, it would be a shame, or if he's just like, "Hey, I'm getting work
Maybe
done.
it happened
you
at
wanna come out?"
a live event or something, and they had to he just lost his teeth at a live event, so they're like, let's capitalize on it.
I
You
didn't
think we
see
would have heard about
I
that?
know. It just
Because there's a lot of blood when you lose teeth.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just
It just
kind of,
popped out.
It just
And they
kinda-
were just kind of sitting on the floor, and it was kind of like,
It looked like an old vaudeville actor. It was like pieces of popcorn on the floor. It didn't even they just they put a piece of tape over his teeth, and all of a sudden it's like, oh look.
I just had a flashback to doing Raw with Smiley, and I brought in cupcakes for the first time ever. I was so excited for everyone to try them.
Oh, this is
and
way
Smiley
back.
bites into a cupcake, and he's like, "Whoa, there's something in this." Takes out a tooth.
I loved it when he
fake
did that.
tooth.
He did
I
that to
was
me a
like,
few times.
You're an awful, awful human being and friend.
It was his actual wisdom tooth.
Was it really?
Yes, it's a real
Oh
tooth.
my gosh. I freaked out.
It's a class act, that's
But
Smiley.
apparently he does that all the time.
Yeah.
So I wonder where they go with this. I guess just like
We'll probably hear more about it next week because
Not
I'm
from
sure
Neville.
we're not the only. No,
Maybe with a lisp.
we're probably
Brodus-
not the only people who are questioning what actually went down
it's
and
like
the
30
aftermath of it.
seconds. It wasn't
30
even-
seconds?
It was about 30 seconds.
It was a bridge between like two matches.
Like, by the way, his teeth are gone. But did you the 6-man tag that's coming up? We had to rewind it to be like, what? Is
Yeah,
that?
it was after a commercial, but before the main event
Yeah.
tonight.
It was.
Weird.
Very weird.
Last match of the night, our main event. Corey Graves and the Ascension versus Sami Zayn and the Usos. Finally, the Ascension has a formidable opponent.
A tag team.
It was
And I
good
don't
to see
think they
some
were
back
happy
and forth.
about it.
Why not?
Well, why would you? I mean, if you're sitting on top, why would you want to have somebody come
Yeah.
in and disrupt the order that you have created with
Especially-
everyone underneath you?
How
Especially
long
if
has
they're
it
the
been
top.
since we've seen them in a not squash match?
Arrival.
Was it? Was that Camacho and?
No, that was too cool.
Oh yeah. Well, that was
Half a
It
not a
wasn't, it wasn't
squash.
entirely a squash. They actually had to work a little bit because it was too cool.
I think Unico and Camacho was like the last real. tag
Yeah, no,
team
because
match
that was a
they had.
feud.
Right,
That was a
well,
big feud. Well, it was a feud. It
was
was
a
a couple
feud.
weeks. It was a couple
Right.
weeks. But those were matches where we can go, all right, something.
Yeah.
And this was more.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. They had to work really hard to keep the Usos in place. I mean, the Usos were on top for a long time.
Yeah.
They were just on top of the Ascension, and they could not have been happy about it. Victor looked pissed.
Yeah, no, he was taking the brunt of the beating.
Yeah.
Pretty much was.
One of my favorite parts was at the beginning when they were doing the whole "and I say Us, you say oh," and the new commentator who we didn't talk about, Rich Brennan.
Yeah.
Or no, it was Riley actually, but still, new commentator, Rich Brennan. He was a person.
We never saw him, though, did we?
We did for
Yeah,
like a couple
for a
of
split
seconds.
second at the very beginning.
But Riley and Albert were kind of talking across him at each other. Alex was like, "Jason, they're not talking to you."
Getting DV up in here
And
again.
anytime,
Talking to you.
anytime he would, they would say "Us," he would go back "so," which isn't the bit. He doesn't know the only.
He's
the bit.
got a lot of chutzpah, but not a whole lot of brains.
bubbles.
Bubbles!
Bubbles.
There were a lot of great false finishes in this match. I don't know. I really enjoyed it.
Grave looked like a chicken, which was good. Which is exactly.
That was perfect.
Yeah. Zayn was coming in. Graves ran away, and as soon as Zayn got hit down by, I think it was Connor, man, Graves
himself in.
was back
Yeah.
in there on top of him just to get taken down.
Yeah.
And then he tagged out immediately again.
Yep.
Ran back to the corner.
Just a
That was
piece
awesome.
piece of crap. That guy.
Once Zayn got into the match, he was like, "No, not now.
Nope.
You go take care of him."
Jay's splash from the top rope at the very end was gorgeous as well.
Always quality, man.
Really good.
Them Usos know them splashes.
Yeah. The Usos and Zayn end up winning, and Graves and the Ascension not too happy with themselves.
Well, hey.
Why would you be?
Too damn bad.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about from this match?
Well, there was a lot of... This shows how much the tag team division has really evolved since the last time everybody was like, oh, tag team wrestling's the best. It showcased a lot of tag team wrestling, not just, all right, tag me in, I want to go and do my singles competitive thing. It was tag team wrestling with double teams.
Working well together.
Frequent tags from not just the heel side, but from, we saw it from the Usos and Zayn more so first. We're like, oh, that's...
Yeah, they frequent tags, in and out, working as a unit. Instead of two units that are somehow joined, they were one unit with one focus.
I love that they all are the high-flying guys, though. I think that made it even more cohesive.
Yeah, and
as a group.
It wasn't weird to see Zayn go up on the top rope and just, he fit right in.
The only thing that was missing is full-on face paint.
Actually, yeah, he should have had some sort of face paint or something, shouldn't he?
Something.
Missed opportunity.
Blue with red rings around it.
Sure.
And you're going to go...
What if he painted on his old alternate...
Yeah.
The mask, just do red.
Oh, he remembers.
So...
How could you let him forget? I mean,
Yeah.
What else? Is that it?
that was it. That was the main event. We're kind of done.
Yeah, I mean, the only other news was that they released 3 new NXT shirts on the shop today, which was an Adam Rose Exotic Express shirt, an Adrian Neville shirt, which is actually really cool.
Kind of cool, yeah.
And a very generic, which is kind of funny, Sami Zayn shirt.
Genericos?
It's very generic because it's in Zayn.
Oh.
It's
like, it's funny.
And you bought all of them, right?
No.
Oh.
That's later tonight.
Okay.
It's not payday yet.
Cool.
But you'll
Friday.
Gotta get down on Friday.
So, thank you guys so much for watching this after show for NXT week of April 24th, 2014. In the meantime, keep the conversation going till we're back next Thursday. Where can they find you guys?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/soapboxmark, and you can find me on Facebook. That was gross. On Facebook, the two of us, for our channel Soapbox Car TV, where we will be the first contest for this belt will be fought on Sunday.
Ooh.
You can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/soapboxcartv.
But you buried the lead. Today we have a new video out. Have you ever seen a RoboCop fight a Terminator? Well, go on to Soapbox Car TV and watch us fight a RoboCop fighting a Terminator. And you can find me on Twitter at TrueHobo and on Pro Wrestling Tees at ProWrestlingTees.com/hobo. I have a new shirt. It's black. I'm losing my mind.
You can find me on Twitter at Catherine Kelly. You can find all of us here on Twitter at AfterBuzzTV. We're going to go calm down after this show.
No, we're not.
No.
But we'll be back with all the energy next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.